Hello, everybody. Imagine you are a Chinese businessman traveling to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, for a business journey full of meetings. Once you land, you need to call your friends to let them know you're in town. You need to text your family, use Uber, check your emails on the way. For all of this, you need only one thing: a local SIM card. So where do you get one? You get through the passport control to the baggage claim area. There you see the machine. You pick up the phone, you choose Chinese as your preferred language, and a smiling Chinese operator sitting somewhere in Hubei issues you a SIM card of STC just in 3 minutes. You pick up your luggage and you're ready to go, wasting no time. Or suppose you are a regional manager of a telecom operator in Malaysia and you need to expand your retail network to connect people to your services in remote areas. You have two options. The expensive one: rent shops, hire people, pay salaries. And the smart one: just install the booth. The booth that provides all the services, speaks all the languages, works 24/7, and most importantly, is never late for work and doesn't need a lunch break. The name of the booth is Telecom Branch of the Future. From the first glance, it looks like an advanced self-service machine with payment tools, ID and biometric scanners, and SIM card dispensers. But on top of that, this machine has a human face and voice that speaks to you, helps you, advises you, and even types your name and presses the buttons on your behalf. This is what we call a real customer care, the thing that we are used to have in a restaurant or a coffee shop, and that is very rarely available in telecoms. Now let's talk business. In most countries, the telecom operators do not own their retail branches, but outsource them to independent franchise companies, paying them a commission from each customer transaction. We want to establish exactly the same business model, but with all our service advantages. Our expenses will be up to 3 times lower and the revenues up to a third higher. Operationally, our model will consist of 3 main components: the machines, the software, and the call center. And for each of them, we have a dedicated team member with years of experience. Our technical chief has worked for more than 10 years designing and deploying self-service kiosks. Our call center chief has built a similar network of the machine in the banking industry. And myself have 14 years of experience running a consultancy business and serving clients in telecom. The potential of the technology is global. Airports, public places, shops and malls, metro stations, this is where the machines can be installed in any country. Even beyond telecoms, we can use them for travel agencies, consulates, and they are already spreading in the banking sector. So, if you want your future telecom to serve you everywhere you go, and just as good as Starbucks, McDonald's, Apple, or Starbucks hotels, vote for Telecom Branch of the Future. Thank you.
Thank you, and now we move to Q&A section.
Okay. So I spend 90% of my life on the road and traveling in countries in which I don't speak the language. Who puts in my SIM card, answers all the texts that come in that SIM card in a different language to ensure that the SIM card is actually working?
How do you ensure that SIM card is working?
Yes. So I go to Vietnam. I go to the phone shop. I give them my phone. They put a SIM. They take the old SIM card out. They put it in and activate it to make sure that it works.
Yes, yes, that's the...
So who does it for you?
Yeah, that's the regular way everybody gets the SIM card. But when you get into the country, you can spend a day or several hours looking for a shop, right?
Airport.
While you can get it directly from the airport, activated over there. And if you get to Vietnam, you will get to speak to an operator speaking native English, and he will issue this for you just in 3 minutes, even without before you get your luggage. So that's the advantage. But that's not the only thing we made the machine for. The machine is made for the customer service, serving regular customers inside city, in remote areas, whenever there is a need for a branch. It's just a more economic way for a telecom branch.
I like the idea. Just wondering how much one of these machines costs, and you have to pay rent probably as well at the airports or the locations. How does the business model actually look like?
Yeah, so the business model as described, we charge or we work with telecom on a commission per transaction basis. So that's the same model that any telecom branch operates. Whether it's in the airport, of course the cost is higher, but the revenue is higher as well, or in any remote areas. But generally, our cost is 3 times lower. Why? Because we don't rent expensive shops, and we have a call center sitting in cheap locations, and the number of service agent is actually lower than the number of branches, because you only need like full capacity in peak hours. In the night hours, you need maybe 10%, and you're covering the whole area.
And how much does it cost, the machine?
It depends on the specs and depending on the country. So average cost is $12,000 one machine, but most expensive part is the software. So we don't actually, our strategic goal is not to sell the software, but use it for ourselves, charging telecoms a commission per transaction. But for the beginning, as long as we don't have an investor, we are trying to sell to 1 or 2 clients, like telecom retailers, and show the traction.
Okay. And if you have an investor, when can you launch? When is the first machine operational?
Operationally, we can set everything up in 6 months. If we talk about like 30 machines, and the investment will be returned in about 4 or 5 months.
Thank you, Telecom Branch of the Future.